Hey, what's up everyone? It is Saturday and a beautiful day. I decided to stay home and get caught up on things I need to do around the house, like laundry. With the storm, it was a little difficult to dry clothes, so I have them all hanging up right now, drying. I put my futons outside to air out. Yes, I have a mattress that was left for me by my predecessor. It's very uncomfortable actually, so I put the futon on top of the mattress, and that combination seems to be optimal, and it is quite comfortable. So today I figured it's about time I get the fun sentences posted. You guys have been asking, and it's been a while since I promised to get them up, so today is a good day for that. We finished the speeches about 2 weeks ago. Basically, the students had an assignment over the summer, and it was a 100-word speech about their summer vacation. So the activities they did, whatever it was, many of them were club related, because even though it was summer vacation, students still came to school and did their club activities or sports. So a lot of them are about that. But anyway, as I was reading through them, it's cool to kind of get a glimpse into the way they think. Some of them put a lot of efforts into them, and others didn't put any real effort, and you'll see what I mean. So anyway, I just have a short collection of sentences that I thought were kind of cool. And also keep in mind, the Japanese language is grammatically opposite, I guess, in the sentence structure than English. So what a lot of them did, instead of putting forth a little bit more effort, they wrote it in Japanese and simply put it in a translator and then wrote down what came out of it. So the sentences were kind of backwards, which is very frustrating, because those I had to actually rewrite using the same concepts and word choices that they used. Speaking of word choices, this again comes from direct translation. So they have a word in Japanese and they put it in the dictionary, and they usually just probably pick the first word that it spits out, the top one. Well, that's not always the best one. As you know, in English language, you choose a word, and the first definition may not be the definition that you mean in that context. So there are some very strange word choices, very difficult words. Okay, once they had the speech written, they then had to memorize it and then speak it in front of the class. So they had 90 seconds to do this. So basically, once they were finished, I went through and checked all of these speeches, and then I handed them back, and then we went over it together, each student. 360 students. It took a long time, and helped with their pronunciation and maybe changed some words around, so it's a little easier for them to memorize and do a better job. And then once that was done, they rewrote it so it's a nice clean draft, and then they memorized it and gave it. So it actually turned out really well. I was very impressed. So let's get started. Here's one. The topic is baby, and the sentence is, I was very fresh recently because there was not existence called the baby close. And you're thinking, what is that? And that's what I thought at first too. But then, of course, talking to the student along with the JTE to kind of figure out what they were really trying to say, and basically it was something about like they wanted to express that they were very happy because up until this point there was not a baby in the family, and I don't know, it gets really complicated sometimes. Okay, let's continue. Topic: heavy rain in Fukuoka. Although it was sorry that our team lost the next day, the heavy rain brought me an impressive experience. Now this is typical. They use it instead of pronouns like they or them or me or I or we. You know, maybe they just don't really exist that much in Japan or in Japanese speaking. So it comes up a lot, even if they're referring to themselves. So it's very interesting. Also, brought me an impressive experience instead of saying it impressed me. That is quite common as well. Let's see. My summer vacation. We talked about the junior high school reminiscence and the high school life. Now that sentence is awkward to us because we would say it a little differently, but it's perfectly correct. So I start questioning myself, like, man, is this right? And then sometimes I even have to look up words to make sure that they can be used as nouns or whatever. And sure enough, I mean, this sentence is proper, but sounds very weird. Here's one. My summer vacation. I met the friend nostalgic to the way back. After going home and eating dinner, I watch fireworks on the veranda. Veranda. Come on. Where do they get this stuff? This one is fantastic. Okay, the topic is just simply my trip. So I enjoyed surfing with a rubber. And of course, if your mind's not in the gutter, then it probably doesn't mean anything to you. But so I enjoyed surfing with a rubber. I'm pretty sure if you said that in a room full of high school American or English-speaking students, they would giggle. But what they really meant was they were floating on the ocean in an intertube, like a tire, the floating donut-shaped thing that's made out of rubber. So they weren't even surfing, and they were floating, and then, of course, the thing was made out of rubber. And I asked the JTE, and I said, well, is this how you would say it? And they're like, yeah. So, just a cultural difference there. Oh, here's a good one. I watched face such as joy or the vexation in the race, and I took many impressions. It was tough. At first I thought I took many impressions. So that could mean I took a lot of pictures, but really it impressed them very much. And vexation, ooh, such a strong word. And they don't realize they actually have to say this word. And X's are tough here. And V's are tough. Here's one, and I found quite a bit of these, like contradictions. The child who looked near was in high spirits, in excessive horror, very much. Can you really be in high spirits and experiencing horror at the same time? Perhaps. Here's one that they didn't bother to change the sentence structure. It must get up early from hard because the second and the campground are left early. So that's very confusing, and it takes a long time to figure out what they're saying sometimes. Here's another funny one, another gutter one. Because my grandfather and my grandmother are old, they can't work their bodies enough. Basically, they don't get enough exercise. I thought we mustn't forget this vexation. Mustn't. I don't even know where they come up with that. I mean, it is a word, but it's so improper. And another vexation. But I injured my eyelid at this game. That would suck. That's about it. It was quite an experience. It was really cool. And just a side note, 360 speeches. It took an entire red ballpoint pen to grade them. A whole pen. Like the entire thing. So that just goes to show either I'm really picky or there was a lot of room for improvement. But once it was all corrected and they understood what they were trying to say in English, it was great. I mean, they really did a good job. The biggest problem with delivery was speaking too quietly or kind of staring off in some direction instead of looking at the entire audience. But a lot of them did really well. They memorized almost all their speech. Some of them needed a few hints, and yeah, very, very impressive. So that's it. See ya.